Good morning, Prabhus and Prabhis. I request you to turn your cell phones off for the moment. And off. So this is the Srimad Bhagavatam, 5th canto, chapter 16, a description of Jambudvipa. Very difficult part of the Bhagavatam indeed, as well. Fortunately, the Prabhu who spoke yesterday got all the math out of the system, so I don't have to really say much. He already did all my homework for me, and we'll move on. And the devotee who asked me to speak this morning, he said he can read as many verses as he wants. Basically, he wants relief for the future speakers. And they didn't even bother to write the full verse. And it's the wrong verse. This is the 10th verse. It's the 9th today. So let's read from the Bhagavatam. Evam dakshine lavritam nishado hemakuto himalaya iti pratayata yata niladayo yutayo jano sedat harivarsha kim purusha varattanam yata sankyam. Translation and once in a while purport by Srila Prabhupada. Similarly, south of Vrindavan and extending from east to west are 3 great mountains named from north to south: Nishada, Hemakuta, and Himalaya. Each of them is 10,000 yojanas, 80,000 miles. They mark the boundaries of the 3 varshas named Harivarsha, Kimpurusha Varsha, and Bharata Varsha. Om Ajanatandranasya Gananjana Salakaya Chaksurinditam Yena Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha Ukam Karoti Vacharam Lumnagayate Grim Yaktipatamam Vande Shri Guruninatarnam Paramanandamaram Shri Chaitanya Vishwaram Vanchakalpataruyascha Kripasindhuya Vacha Patitanam Pavari Vaishnavyo Namo Namaha. So how is it possible that these mountains are 80,000 miles, but we miss them? We can't see them. What happened there? Anybody answer this? I mean, if there is a hill right outside of Vrindavan, you can see it. So there is all of a sudden 3 range of mountains, 80,000 miles each, and can't see them. Well, I can risk an explanation. Just like when you go to these places like Universal Studios and Disney World, and you go on a ride, and then you really have no idea where you are. It seems like so real. Everything's coming at you like 3D, and things flying and objects, and there is nothing there really. So if this technology, which is somewhat simple, is available to humans, to be eating sinful humans, what to speak of very pious demigods that are in charge of delicate affairs of the universe? They have all the technology they want. They can bewilder us completely. So they can cover 3 ranges of 80,000 mile mountains easily, very easily. Like we can't see them, just like that. The points made by Prabhupada in some later verses is that the point is Shastra Chaksus, that our vision is limited, quite limited, matter of fact. Like in India, you get shut off electricity. How do you call this? The electricity goes off at any time, and you can't see anything. So you can't see even what's in your room. You can't see even your hand in front of your face, because your eyes are completely limited by a range of different physical things, like light and the incidence and the angle. Like if I put my hand this far, I can't see it either. is speaking, like someone is speaking over there, I can't hear anything. I don't know what they're saying, I can't understand anything. My senses are completely defective. This is mutual, every one of us. We all have senses that are not meant to understand higher things. So we have to take help from Shastra, because Shastra is the eyes of the devotee. This is Shastra Chakshu. This is our vision. So having this kind of senses, how can we either prove or disprove the statements of the Srimad Bhagavatam? We can argue to death, but we don't have the elements to do it. So this is what Prabhupada is saying, that the scientists, they can't disprove the statements of the Bhagavatam because they only have their limited tools, whether they're mechanical or physical. Their tools cannot prove or disprove anything because they can be bewildered. Like the Shastra says that the moon is further away than the sun. So the sun is 93 million miles away, and the moon is even further away. So according to what we see, the moon, or what the scientists tell, the moon is actually closer. But you can actually get a 5 rupee coin and put it in front of the moon, and you can cover the whole moon. Does that mean that the coin is bigger than the moon? So this is the bewildering state of the universe that is meant to just throw the living entity in a perpetual confusion and to make him feel at home. Like, this is the place, this is enormous, and your Prabhupada once told a story, didn't tell a story. It was a Tamil Krishna Maharaj. He was making a statement. He was very close to Prabhupada, so Prabhupada had put him in his place. One day he said, in this, there are many universes emanating from Mahavishnu. Many universes. Every time he breathes out, all the universes come out. And out of those many universes, there is one particular universe that has its own sun. Is this, the Milky Way, and somehow or other in that orbit of the sun, there is one planet which is not the biggest. It's called planet Earth, and in that Earth, there is a city called, I think it was Los Angeles, and in that city there are so many people, and out of all those people, there is one single one called Tamal Krishna, and he thinks he knows everything, and he thinks it's a big thing. So Prabhupada was putting him in his place, and we are all like that, really. Sometimes I've seen postcards, they show the Milky Way, the part of the galaxy, and then there is an arrow pointing somewhere, and it says, "You're here." Really, we are insignificant. And this is the mercy of Krishna, that we are what we are, because we will never be anything but insignificant. I was wondering actually, when I was a young bhakta, how is it possible that if Krishna is everything, he can be insignificant? Because if he is infinite, so he has to be complete, so how can we be insignificant? So, and the teachings of Lord Chaitanya, which I read, Prabhupada explained that we are the insignificant part and parcel of Krishna, and therefore he is complete, because through his living entities, through his jivas, he is also insignificant. But he continues to be infinite and infinitesimal at the same time. Prabhupada, and later, actually, I'm going to read the next verse because that's a purport by Prabhupada. In the same way, west and east of Varsha are two great mountains named Mount Yavan and Gandhamadana, respectively. These two mountains, which are 2,000 yojanas, 16,000 miles high, extend as far as Nila Mountain in the north of Nishada in the south, the they indicate the borders of Ilavrita Varsha and also the Varshas known as Ketumala and Bhadrashva. Purport. There are so many mountains, even on this planet Earth. We do not think that the measurements of all of them have actually been calculated. While passing over the mountainous region from Mexico to Caracas, we actually saw so many mountains that we doubt whether their height, length, and breadth have been properly measured. Therefore, as indicated in Srimad Bhagavatam by Sukadeva Goswami, we should not try to comprehend the greater mountainous areas of the universe merely by our calculations. Sukadeva Goswami has already stated that such calculations will be very difficult even if one hasn't had a duration of life like that of Brahma. We should simply be satisfied with the statements of authorities like Sukadeva Goswami and appreciate how the entire cosmic manifestation has been made possible by the external energy of the Supreme Personality of Godhead. The measurements given herein, such as 10,000 yojanas or 100,000 yojanas, should be considered correct because they have been given by Sukadeva Goswami. Our experimental knowledge can neither verify nor disprove the statements of Srimad Bhagavatam. We should simply hear the statements from authorities. If we can appreciate the extensive energy of the Supreme Personality of Godhead, that will benefit us. So Prabhupada says, while passing over the mountainous region from Mexico to Caracas, we actually saw many mountains. So you see, this is before digital instruments, before GPS, before laser. Prabhupada was saying they don't have the exact measurements. Now they may have the exact measurements, but so what? It's still just an extension of the fallible human eye, because we can't really understand. And he mentions here that Sukadeva Goswami is the authority to speak about things. So whether it's like the Guru tells you this is a rope, is a rope. The Guru tells you it's a snake, it's a snake. Simply like that. If the Guru happens to be Srila Prabhupada, it's a pretty accurate statement that we should accept through the authority what we see, what we perceive. Later on in this same section, well, here I also mention a mountain, Arivarsha, Kimpurusha Varsha, and Bharata Varsha. Bharata Varsha is considered to be India, and Kimpurusha is there's some living entities called Kimpurusha. Purusha means human, and Kimpurusha means like humans. So they're like humans, but they're not quite like, they look like humans, but they aren't. So this is the regions. There are different regions and different people inhabit these different regions. Like for example, when Vyasadeva retired to the Himalayas, actually Vyasadeva was born out of a somewhat fortuitous connection between Satyavati and I forgot the name. Parasaramuni. Parasaramuni, the great sage, was crossing the river, and Satyavati actually was the daughter of King Vasu, but he had problem delivering in the womb of his wife because he was somewhere in the forest, and a fish ate the seed and had twins, and Satyavati was born out of a fish and adopted by a fisherman and his wife. And Parasamuni, she was actually given the job by her father to row a boat across the river. So Parasamuni had to cross the river and saw this woman that was not ordinary, and somehow said, I have a mission. I have to bring a sage into this world, and you seem like a suitable candidate, so I would like to have a son with you. And she said, but I'm a virgin, and how could I do that? And she didn't want to displease the sage, because sages had a lot of power and they could curse anyone. So he said, I don't think it's a good idea. Plus, plus there are people on both sides of the river watching us. Parasar Muni said, well, I can fix all that. First of all, you will remain a virgin even after having a child. You have a child immediately, and he created a dense fog like we see in Vrindavan, and you couldn't see anything. So they had a child, and Satyavati, being, she had a fishy smell from birth, from being born out of a fish. So she requested the sage to remove that scent. We put perfume on, so she was into that. And she actually had a beautiful scent for the rest of her life. So Vyasadeva was born immediately into adulthood, just a second. And he said, I have a mission, I have to go and perform austerities, I'm going to the Himalayas, and I will be there practicing austerities for as long as it takes me. So if you don't mind, if you need me, just call me. Just think of me and I will show. So eventually, he disappeared. This is very typical of sages. They have no intentions of remaining docile and domesticated. They just have business to do and they go away. So eventually Satyavati had a problem with the family and called Vyasadeva to procreate. This is a long story anyway. But Vyasadeva, he had no intention of procreating. He was practicing austerities, but by the request of his mother, actually, he gave birth to. This is jet lag. This is what does to you. Turns your brain into jelly. I can't remember most simple things. Duryodhana, there was Dhritarashtra. He gave birth to Dhritarashtra, to Pandu, etc., etc. So this, he was living in the Himalayas. And if you notice, in our parampara, there is, after Vyasadeva, is Madhvacharya. The Acharya is Madhvacharya. And that's 1,000 years difference. Usually the Acharyas go from generation to generation. But there is 1,000 years between Vyasadeva and Madhvacharya. Because Vyasadeva is still practicing austerities. It's not like he's moved, he went anywhere. He's still living in the Himalayas, doing his thing. It's a powerful, very powerful stage, and he was in power. It's a literary incarnation of Krishna, meant to divide the Vedas and write the instructions for all living entities. Prabhupada said that all facility is there, just like in the upper planetary systems. They have the Prabhu yesterday was describing that there are fruits the size of an elephant that they break against the ground and they create rivers of nectar and so on. Actually, I have a similar experience, not exactly elephant-sized fruits, but I was living in Brazil. I did my Bhakta program in Recife, which is a city in the north of Brazil. I don't know if the Prabhus that never left Bharatavarsha know about Brazil, but it's a very tropical place. And the northeast of Brazil is the closest to Africa from the South American continent. And there were mango trees. The devotees were renting a property that used to belong to the governor of Recife. What's the name of the state? Recife is the capital. Pernambuco. There you go. He was the governor of Pernambuco, and The property was beautiful, a two-story building with a beautiful design and 40 mango trees. They were all over the place, and there were jambu fruit, and there was coconuts and cashew fruit and breadfruit and jackfruit and sitafal and just there was every fruit you can think of. And the mangoes during the summer will ripen and just fall. Matter of fact, one could not really walk around the little forest that we have because the mangoes will hit you in the head constantly. There was literally a river of mangoes. And so the devotees will collect the mangoes during the morning, the ones who fell during the night, and make mango juice for breakfast for 40 people without using any water or sugar. Just squeeze mangoes for 40 devotees. It was like a river of mango. And mangoes are eating fruit, so you shouldn't take too much because it will give you boils and other skin problems. So take it in moderation. But there's no problem. We're in Vrindavan in winter, so there's not that abundance of mangoes. Actually, there's in one of these planets, the upper planets, there's a mango tree named Devachyuta. They have names, and the fruits are the size of peaks of mountains. Imagine that's and no seeds. Good thing, no seeds. So the fruits in the upper planetary systems, they have no seed at all. So they have no bugs too. Like you eat guavas here in India and you see worms inside. So there's no worms, there's no seeds. So again, I was saying that the opulence of the upper planetary systems, the other systems, are that there is abundant ghee and butter and molasses and cloth and jewels and pretty much anything the earth is providing. And we are meant to live in almost the same conditions. But because of sinful activities, the earth is refusing to give this. So instead there is very little gold, and the government takes it and gives you paper, and then you give paper to a company and they give you a plastic thing. And so it's more and more removed from real wealth. Because real wealth means you can grow your own food. That's real wealth. You can grow your cotton and make your own clothes. You can grow your own food organically. And what do you care what happened to the world, the financial state of Wall Street? Why would you care if you have tomatoes and potatoes in your garden? What does it matter what the Dow Jones is like, and what the stocks and bonds and CDs are saying? The whole economy can collapse. You still have food. You still have clothes. You have a cow. So don't try to be prosperous by taking advantage of the system. Just try to be Krishna conscious and live a simple life, and then you will have everything. Because Prabhupada set us up so we don't have to struggle. And you may think, oh, I'm struggling still. But look around. At least you're chanting the Maha Mantra, which is relieving you from anxiety. Look at everyone else. Well, maybe not in Vrindavan, because in Vrindavan things are different, but in the rest of the world where we live in Santa Barbara, California. You can Google it later and go to images and see what it looks like. It looks like a heavenly planet. It does. It's like beautiful weather. It's always 22, 23 degrees. Even in the winter, it's always sunny. There's the ocean and the mountains. You grow everything. Avocados and lemons and sitafal. You grow everything there. But people are reluctant to understand, to take up Krishna consciousness, because it's very difficult to convince someone in such a situation that the world is a place of suffering. And they say, well, this world is a place of suffering. What do you mean by that? You know, the weather is great. I'm going surfing right now. What should I care about, you know? It's not like you're talking to a miner making $6 a day in Wales. You're talking to some California guy who drives a convertible Mercedes-Benz and lives in a mansion and has everything he wants. And yeah, that's very nice that you do this, but you know, no, the world is not a place of suffering. But death is coming. Death is coming for everyone, and death doesn't come alone. Usually comes with a lot of trouble and a lot of disturbance, misery. So we are not meant to experience tremendous misery if we are Krishna conscious, because you have the ability to transcend your body. Those words, "you are not the body," made me a devotee. I didn't need any further information about Krishna consciousness. A devotee preached to me and said, "You're not the body." And I thought, wow, finally somebody tells me something useful. This is amazing. I want to know everything else. So this is how the devotees should live and understand the world. That this world is a temporary place, and whether we are enjoying or suffering, we're going to have to go. This is just like a bus stop. So don't get too attached. There is nothing for you in that place. Just a few snacks and then you go. And no luggage. Your luggage will get lost somehow. So you take nothing. Because right now we're all carrying our bags full of stuff, full of material desires. And we think, oh yeah, I'm going to sneak this through the division between this material and the spiritual world. I'm going to take my lust and my anger and my greed and everything else in whatever proportion. No, sorry. You may sneak a slightly larger bottle of shampoo through the airport security, but you're not taking anything through the Vaikuntha customs. They'll take everything away, and they will send you back, matter of fact, to the back of the line until you get it right. So please remain in your position. Don't try to jump the gun and be someone you're not. Just from wherever position you are, try to chant Hare Krishna, try to be a Vaishnava, and everything will be fine by the mercy of Guru and Gauranga. So I hear that today's the disappearance of Srila Lochan Das Thakur. I was told that about 5 minutes before the class began. So I have no idea of the life of Lochan Das Thakur. I believe he wrote the Karma Karuna song. That's what I know. Yeah, but that's about it. So if anyone knows anything about Lochan Das Thakur, besides the fact that he was a great Vaishnava and we celebrate both appearance and disappearance, because for a Vaishnava, there is no difference. Like we were walking with my wife yesterday, going near the Krishna Balaram tree, and there was a little puppy, a dog, who was dead, probably dead. And she was lamenting. I said, don't lament. He's better off than we are. He died in Vrindavan. What's the big deal? He's gone. He's with the Lord now. And we are still struggling, trying to get a taxi without being cheated. So thank you very much. And I ask if you have any questions or comments, you're welcome to deliver them now.